The theme we're going through in Module 3 is manipulation in mass media. And what is manipulation in mass media? Well, you see examples of it in social medias such as Facebook, Instagram, or the likes of it. You see it in product placements, in TV shows, or even movies. The point of manipulation in mass media is to make the audience have a certain opinion of a subject or a product. It could, for example, be political, as you've seen in the political campaign of Donald Trump in the election in the U.S. He used the platform Twitter, as many knows. When we're going through the appendixes that we got in Module 3, there were two articles that contained the subject of the person Edward Snowden, that was a known whistleblower of the data collection of the NSA in the US. He revealed that the NSA was making a heavy surveillance of the American people through the cameras of their computers, or uh, all the data that they could collect from the American people. They did. They had no boundaries, and that was why he felt that he had to to help the American people to know how much surveillance there was laid upon them. So it was a heavy, heavy level of surveillance. But why is that a breach of privacy? Well, you could imagine that if the American people knew that that the NSA could access their lenses on their computer to see what they were doing, they could monitor their chats on Facebook, or chat rooms, or the likes, and they would feel um, high level of harm. They would not be happy about it, and it appeared to be true. But of course, the amount of rage against the surveillance is is limited by the situation they currently would be in, and that takes us on to the next subject: defending surveillance. Because the time that this kind of heavy surveillance was put in place was shortly after the attack in 9/11. You know, the attack on the World Trade Centers in New York, in America. So Bush started this war on terrorism, and most people um, will probably imagine that the war on terrorism would be on foreign ground. But the war of terrorism was also in the the US itself, on social media and on the internet, and well, they had to make sure that there weren't any terrorists in the US. Um, so so if the American people knew that that kind of surveillance was put in place at that time, well, maybe they wouldn't feel such rage against it, because they were willing to give um, a bit of their privacy to make sure that they would feel safe. Um, if there is a heavy threat of war hanging over your head, you are willing to do certain compromises to make sure that that threat won't harm you. So Bush defended that the surveillance, that it was a measure that had to be taken at that time in history. And the American people probably have a variety of opinions of this surveillance, and if the surveillance is worth the price.